listen, I'm not a conspiracy theorist guy. I don't buy into this type of thing. I don't think games are rigged in that sense. But if there's a riggable, manufacturable part of the story that you could adjust, the NBA draft lottery is probably near one of the easiest ones to fake. And I have a very hard time believing that a 1.8% chance with the most polarizing move in recent memory in the NBA history, that they got spoon-fed a prospect that probably went number one in every draft outside of Wembanyama since 2020. And they get the first overall pick now? I'm not going to scream to the clouds, but come on. The NBA, there's no doubt in my mind now that the NBA had a hand in this. It's almost blatant. It's laughably blatant. And nobody can really check you on it. What, owner's going to sue? No, they're not. They make their money back anyway. They don't care. That's not going to happen. This is rigged. That is ridiculous. Dallas Mavericks, 1.8% chance to get the pick, and now all of a sudden they're going to have a champion. This is a team that was in the finals a year ago. And they're going to have a chance to catapult them into stardom for the next 10 years with a win-now-ready team. Is it the hardest thing in the world to believe? Are you that confident in the integrity of basketball, in the integrity of sports, that when Nico Harrison, who quietly, blatantly, and confusingly went to only Los Angeles to deal Luka Doncic, only Los Angeles, got Anthony Davis out of it, nobody knew it was even happening. Is it that hard to believe that maybe there isn't a conversation at some point or other thinking that, hey, let's rewind 6 months. Every media person in the world was dissecting how the NBA can fix their game. Let's expand the three-point line. Let's make dunks worth 3 points. Alley-oops 3 points. The most gimmicky nonsense excuses. We're guilty too. The most gimmicky nonsense things trying to fix the free-falling ratings of the NBA. And then all of a sudden that Doncic trade happened. Completely flipped the script. Now it's I'm looking forward to the postseason. There's some intrigue about the Western Conference. And now the NBA is capitalizing on a stellar postseason they've had thus far. Is it that hard to believe that maybe when they made this trade, Silver, a little bug in his ear said, or with Nico Harrison's ear, it said, hey, like, if you get Doncic to LA, LA needs a star at all times. Keep an eye out for the draft lottery. Mm-hmm. Keep an eye out.
Yep.
Maybe we'll throw you a bone. Is it that hard to believe? 888-760-3776. I'm not this type of guy, but time and time again, the NBA just so perfectly matches the script. I'm starting to lean the other end.
At the time when the Luka trade happened, I kept telling you boys, something's fishy. And you guys are like, Mike, then say it with your chest. I should have said it with my chest all those weeks back. This is ridiculous. I'm happy because my sister works for the Dallas organization. With that out of the way, this is fixed. We've seen this multiple times. When Chicago and D-Rose, what was that? 1% chance of Chicago going home and the D-Rose going home and playing in Chicago was like a 1% chance. Cleveland, multiple times. Did they screw it up with Anthony Bennett? Absolutely. But they managed to get Kyrie Irving.
But why would they rig it for Cleveland?
Because they lost LeBron, and then they got Kyrie in the number one pick.
Well, they got 3 number one picks.
And that's what I mean. Multiple times the Cavs have gotten.
But LeBron left on his own doing it. Why would that be rigged?
But then there were rumors that that he came back, and then all of a sudden they got the number one pick drafted Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins was
that
the bait
I can listen
for
to.
Kevin
I can't
Love.
listen to the Anthony Bennett one, but I understand the point. But I mean, you're talking about rigging it for who? The small market teams? They don't want it. They don't care about Cleveland being great. They don't want Cleveland to be great.
It's not even that. It's they felt awful. They felt terrible that the way it happened. I think multiple times the Cavs got it rigged. And then the Chicago D-Rose one comes to mind with the less than 1% chance. But yeah, this was, I mean, to your point, when the trade originally happened, none of us understood it. Everyone came on the microphone and said, what in the hell are you doing? Trading arguably the guy who might be the face of the league for the next multiple years when LeBron and Steph and company are done. No one understood it at the time. And if they think that this is apropos, if this was something that they talked it over,
pro?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I've been on this for multiple years with the draft and the lottery, being a Cleveland fan and seeing that Derrick Rose stuff happen years back. I'm not surprised at all. And you're right. They want the Lakers to be good. The Lakers are a team that no matter what, the playoffs are going on in Colin, they're not even in it. And the conversation is, how do the Lakers get better and how do the Lakers get to the next level? The Lakers will always be a story, and I think the league always wants the Lakers to be a story, similar to Boston. Those are your two household names in the NBA, Los Angeles and Boston. I'm not shocked at all. I'm not shocked at all to see Dallas get the number 1 pick.
And Boston, another team who they finagled teams. They killed the Warriors on the Paris trade back when they got McHale. But this was a team that lived in the top 3 of the draft consistently. Len Bias in 86. There's certain things they can't control, but they were gift-wrapped. A number of high overall draft picks. The Lakers, too. The same thing. It's happened for years. Ewing in 85, famously, to the Knicks. I mean, the Knicks were on the outside looking in. New York needs a big star. And Patrick Ewing falls from the sky, the biggest college prospect in the last 4 years. More. And he falls from the sky right to the Knicks. That was another one. LeBron, when he first went to Cleveland, keeping the guy home.
Correct.
I mean, why does it so consistently, the story matches up? You have to at least consider it. Listen, I'm not fully sold, but if they're going to add the story, they don't want Flagg in Charlotte. They don't care. And Washington's a big market. They don't care about the Wizards. They don't care about Utah, burying him in Utah. They want a story out of it. And even the second overall pick, the Spurs.
Yep. Wembanyama. They need Wemby to be on a good team.
Well, they need Wemby. But now the Spurs have the capital to go get Giannis. They could go get Giannis tomorrow now if they really wanted to. Because that second overall pick is probably going to be a guard, Dylan Harper, maybe, out of Rutgers, unless they want to reach for somebody else. They have 3 guards on the team. Now they have assets to go trade somebody like, I know they say he's untouchable, but they could go trade that number 2 overall pick, Stephon Castle. They could go trade Keldon Johnson as a salary mix, a bunch of picks, and all of a sudden Giannis is in a San Antonio uniform. I'm not sure if they'll do it, but the intrigue is added to that. The NBA has had a stellar 6 months of finding the right story. Is it that hard to believe that some of it is manufactured? WWE makes a living off of it. I'm not saying it's WWE. They can't control what happens on the court. They would have loved the Lakers to be in the mix here. They would have loved that. And they can't control, Boston going down here at this point in the season. But you don't think what they can control, they do in some capacity? There's no way. There's no way. Not after this. Not after this. After the 3, you imagine going 17-65 if you're the Utah Jazz and fall into, what were they, 4, 5?
Yeah,
Charlotte,
fifth.
the same thing.
Worst call, 5th, sorry.
And Charlotte, 4th.
4th,
again.
Yep.
And then the Wizards, the worst team in the NBA, 6. There is no team, or no league, I should say, that cares less about those small market teams than the NBA does. And this helps the broad scope of the NBA. But I was thinking about this. Mike Greenberg today on Get Up was all in favor of the NFL draft lottery. How do you watch last night and think, other than it being a big story, how do you watch that and think this is good for the league? See, the Dallas Mavericks were in the finals a year ago, and they get the opportunity to get Flagg.
They're in the playing tournament too.
They get the opportunity. That's good for the NBA. For who?
The lottery, it just leaves too much, to your point, to be gimmicky. And then us coming on today and going, oh gosh, they can't pull the wool over our eyes like this. We know that they're making decisions. The fact that Dallas, San Antonio, and Philadelphia, what was the over-under you bet this year for Philly, Kyle?
52.5.
Okay.
Well, they were terrible. They had an opportunity. They had like a 6% chance.
Colin, at the same time, a team that was projected to win 52 games, and a team I think the NBA wants to be good, is the 3rd pick behind Wembanyama.
And San Antonio, another team that would be interesting to be good because of Wembanyama.
Exactly. And I think the league needs, Wemby and the Spurs to be good. God, I hope the guy could stay healthy. I think the only thing that'll stop Wembanyama is his health. But, yeah, for a pure watching standpoint, you want to see San Antonio be good with Wemby. You like to see, and the hush-hush closed-door deal that maybe Dallas made with the commissioner. I don't know. It's just, we're smarter than this. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, it's
we're smart. They're acting like we're stupid. We see this stuff, man.
But the thing is, nobody can check them on it because this is the story, and they could write it, and it doesn't really matter. You want to know why the NFL is leaps and bounds amongst all the leagues because every team matters. Every team